This week on Carlie's Couch, we're discussing the mirror theory and why people trigger you.
Welcome to Carlie's Couch. We hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining us again as we're in the mid 300s of episodes. So many to listen to. So if you haven't heard them all, feel free to go back as well. Feel free to leave reviews and make sure you're subscribing across the board. Carlie, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling very cozy because I'm holding Marvel. So if you're watching the video, she's mine for right now. But I'm feeling wonderful. I'm also sleepy today. We had a really big mental health awareness event for a bunch of LAUSD kids this past week. And that was a whole undertaking. So shout out to us. Shout out to them. Changes Hoon did a great job with the county. How you doing today?
I am doing well. I am re-energizing this weekend, so been chilling and just watching a lot of movies and relaxing. So
what's the best thing you watched?
I'm watching Mission Impossible, so I've just been going down the road with those.
Oh, nice, because then the new one just dropped. Oh, nice. Okay.
So I'm just doing a little marathon before I go to the movies to watch the last one, basically.
Oh, dang, it is the last one. He been doing them things for 20, 30 years?
Yeah, way too much. Well, yeah, the first one was like 96, so.
Go Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Shout out Thomas. Today we are talking about something that you probably heard of if you're a listener of Carlie's Couch, and that is this idea of projection and this idea of being triggered by people or disliking people. And so, as usual, today we're going to talk about what that really may be reflecting about you.
Yeah, I was seeing a bunch of different quotes and just thoughts about that. And I was like, that's so interesting that we can use our own dislikes. Like, obviously, our triggers. But when you think about disliking someone, you don't necessarily think it's a trigger when in actuality it probably is from something in our own healing journeys and as reference points to help us get to things about ourselves. When I was researching, I found a great quote by Carl Jung, which, I mean, he always has quotes for things, but everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves.
And the truth of the matter is that everything can help you get to know more about yourself or help you learn about yourself. And it's just that oftentimes I think when we're irritated by a person or when somebody kind of rubs us the wrong way, that we don't tend to think about ourselves at all. We look at it like, oh, that's that person and they are X, Y, Z. And so this is just another space where it's like, actually, you can still learn a little something about yourself. What is that? Because it may be something that you're surprised to learn. Because quite frankly, when things aren't necessarily reflecting something about you, it doesn't really bother you. Think about the things that you can walk past or the things you can hear or see, and it's just like, okay, cool, it rolls off of you. But if something does irritate you, then why? There's a little bit something else there, because it really shouldn't necessarily be anything personal. And we're also not talking about like if somebody's like in your face cussing you out or talking about your mom or, nothing necessarily that's like an obvious fighting words or like you're having conflict with me, but seeing how people act, right? Like when we're talking about the stuff, like when you're at the party and you're like, oh, she piling up all them leftovers on the side, trying to take stuff home. Or we're talking about when it's like, oh, there goes Susie. She talking to everybody, like talk. Like she don't never know how to be quiet. Those types of things where it's like, well, why is that bothering me? It's probably bothering me because I'm in the corner scared to talk to anybody. So we're going to get into it. One of the first things that it could be representative of when you're like, I don't like that person. Think about it that dislike is a mirror. So sometimes what we dislike about other people is you recognizing something in yourself that you don't like.
Yeah, dislike is a mirror is a big one. And when I think about people that I didn't like, especially in school, for whatever reason, grade school was really easy for me to recognize this. Like, because I was kind of a know-it-all. Might still be, but definitely was then, and did not like other know-it-alls and never put that together then. This is definitely hindsight is 2020, but I remember being in college, one of my homegirls, shout out to Sarah, she be listening, but she came home really upset. We were roommates. She was so upset. She could not stand this girl that was a friend of her friends and just was going on and on and on. And she was like, and then, do you know what she said about me? And I was like, what? And she was like, she said that the only reason I didn't like her was because she had qualities in myself I didn't like. And we both sat there like, oh my God.
Well.
Because we were like, yeah, whoa, brain. Because we were like 19. Like, you know, it's the first time we'd ever heard anything. But once we sat with it, we were like, actually, she's probably right. And then they ended up being friends.
How did they get over the hump from that conflict to being friends, though?
Well, because she was still friends of Sarah's friend. And so they would still just be around each other. But I think after Sarah, who's brilliant, after she recognized that it was just really something she was disliking in herself, it gave her an opportunity to heal that or fix that or even just think about it and stop projecting all of that onto that girl.
Mm-hmm. So do you agree with it then that a lot of times the things that you don't like in somebody or if you don't like somebody, it's because there's something reflecting that you don't like about yourself?
I definitely think it can be. I don't know, like, percentage wise, definitely not 100, obviously, but like I would say that's pretty up there, especially for people who aren't as self-aware.
Yeah, and it is kind of awakening because it's like, oh man, really? Because you really do have to like be accountable, I guess. For me, I notice it'll pop up when I see people doing very explicit types of like people pleasing, like you're at a get together at somebody's house. And somebody's like doing dishes and cleaning up. And it's like, just relax. Like, we're guests at this party. Like, they're doing this because they want to make sure like people see their value and like them and da-da-da. And it's like, just relax. And then there are some types of relationships or some places where I'll notice like, oh, I'm doing a little too much, or I'm looking for some type of approval right now. And so in some ways, then that's probably linked where when I see those actions or when I see something where it feels like, you know, they're trying to get everybody to like them right now. And it's because, well, that's what I'm forcing in a lot of places as well. And so I guess still when you see that, it allows you to then be like, okay, we're both human. We're both figuring this thing out. We're both doing X, Y, Z. And I guess in that moment of at least acknowledging that thing that's kind of similar or can be reflected of you, it allows you to kind of like take down that screen of disliking, because it's like, it's more like a, like, yeah, I get it kind of thing, you know, instead. So it kind of can de-escalate you from all that judgment because you're realizing that, well, you have this same thing as well.
You know what's so funny is I was at somebody's house and I was helping them clean up, and I thought about your dislike of that, and I just like chuckled to myself. Doing it. but what's funny is I've never thought about it like that, and I think it's beautiful because it gave me a chance to think about it. And a lot of that is projection, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm just a helpful person, and that's just who I am. And then there have been times when I was doing it to help make them think I, you know, was super helpful or whatever, but most of the time it's not. And so it's interesting. It just kind of, I think that's when you sit with it, it gives you an opportunity to really think and reflect, like, why am I uncomfortable about this? Or why does that bother me that they're doing something that has nothing to do with me? And then to kind of sit with yourself, because a lot of times it is just you, Doc.
Another reason why there may be a dislike there is sometimes we'll see people doing something and it irritates, triggers you, or causes you to feel those emotions of dislike because actually they are doing something or being representative of something you wish you were doing or wish you had the confidence to do or are suppressing in yourself from doing.
Yeah, you see this when people, oh, she thinks she's something over there walking like that, or okay, college boy, like, you know, whatever. Like when people are getting upset with others, I've noticed it in myself, just in the sense, like when I'm not doing something that I know I want to be doing and somebody does, I'm like, oh man, I need to, like, why does that bother me? Oh, because I'm not doing this thing. Like, okay, girl, well then do the thing.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's not something you're very readily recognizing that you want. So like, again, for example, in the party where you see the person who's like got a crowd of people around them and they're making everybody laugh, you might be kind of hating on that, but it's like, well, they're so needy. They need all the attention all the time. They always hog all the attention. Even as that may be something that could be seen as a negative thing, it might just be actually reflecting your the fact that you're suppressing a need to be seen, that you're not letting people see you. You're not talking to people and being vulnerable and being out there. And a lot of times that's a jealousy where it's like, you really do wish you could be the life of the party, or you wish that you felt comfortable enough to like just talk with random people and all of the things that you're kind of judging that person for. Most actions, you could put whatever lens you want on it. You could look at somebody at the other end of the party and be like, wow, they're so awesome and such a good people person. Wow. Or you could be like, they always hog on the attention. So again, like if your perspective is immediately or initially negative, then it's like, well, why? Because like Carlie just said too, like that doesn't have nothing to do with you. So why is it negative? What is it really reflecting about you?
Yeah, and gives you an opportunity to check in with your goals. Like once you get there, once you sit with it, once you know, like, is that really even something you wanted to do? Like, be more confident or speak to more people, whatever the thing is, and sit with why you might not be doing these things you say you want to do. So all of it is just data points and things to help you get to the heart of your life and your goals, which is you. Mm-hmm. The last thing is I was thinking, because I was like, okay, so they're saying you don't like people because they reflect you, or you're saying you might not like someone, or they might trigger you or irritate you because, they're doing something you want to do or haven't come to grips with. But I also think that there are some people you just honestly don't vibe with. Like, you just do not like them. And I think that that's okay too. But there requires a bit of reflection to figure that out, because a lot of people might just say they don't like folks, but aren't doing the reflective work to really figure out why. Because I know there are definitely people I just don't get along with. I don't actively dislike folks, but there are just people that I'm like, yeah, they're not my person.
And also, there are some qualities and things that people can do which could be valid for you to not necessarily want to be like best friends with them, or, like hang out with them all the time or like them. If somebody is consistently flakes on stuff, sure. There also may be a thing where it reflects like, I flake too sometimes. And also it's like, well, you don't want to hang out with somebody who flakes out, then you don't want to hang out with somebody who flakes out on you. So somebody who's never on time, or somebody who, when you go out to eat, they're always complaining. Like, there are things that people, if they do that and you don't care for it, then you don't care for it. In those kind of cases, I don't think disliking something that is like a clearly kind of like a negative types of things, disliking it doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, well, I'm also always rude to the waiter. It's not necessarily that. And if anything, it just kind of enforces in you when people are doing things that's not really reflective of you, it really just enforces in me like, man, it's so important to treat people well, or it enforces for you to, man, let me make sure I'm on time to stuff, or let me respect XYZ. That's kind of how those things should kind of be bouncing off of you. And so it is okay, like if people, are not aligned with you, then you don't have to be cool with them. So it doesn't mean like everything that's wrong with anybody is also wrong with you in that way. And it also, they shouldn't bother you. You just shouldn't be going out of your way to try to like make something happen there. So now let's talk about what to do now. So if you notice like there's people that you dislike, or certain activities or things that you see or hear that trigger you, what can we do with that information?
The first thing you need to do is identify the trigger, and you can notice that you're irritated or upset or just don't like something, have a feeling about it, or feel a type of way about a thing that maybe doesn't warrant that. Like, for example, someone at a party who's not talking to you and has nothing to do with you. Why are you irritated? And what exactly did they say or do that is bothering you? And then thinking through like, okay, well, what do you wish they would do instead?
And then you being that person. Everything is always about what you're doing with yourself. And so as you assess the situation, then think about, okay, what that means for you in that case. So then you're next flipping the mirror and you ask yourself like, have I ever done this? Have I ever done that or acted like that? You probably have. And even asking yourself and being accountable in that way is also a way to be having more grace for everybody else around you. You can also ask, do I fear being seen that way? That's how it is a lot of times when you see the folks who's being extra, extra loud and rambunctious and they're having a good old time, and it pisses you off sometimes. And it's like, why? You might be afraid of being seen in that way. Also, is this something that you've judged in yourself before? So ask yourself those questions in order to now take this judgment and trigger off of them and to look at yourself.
Yeah, the only one I would add there is like, are they doing something that I want to do? Like, is that like once you've sat with, what upset you, is that something you've been longing to do? Go back to school, to move, to be free and travel, to do whatever. Is that why you hating on them? And then once you notice, so you identified your trigger, you flipped the mirror and been really very insightful with yourself, you're sitting with it without judgment. You're not beating yourself up. You're not being upset for having feelings. You're human. That's okay. But what you are doing is noticing that you're not wrong or bad, but just being more self-aware, being more in tune with yourself, and then considering like, okay, I do this a lot. I actually am upset, and I realize that this is something in myself I want to heal or want to change or can be kinder to myself about. Like if someone complains a lot about money and that bothers you and then you notice you do it, you start to work on yourself with money and your own relationship with money and start to heal it moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the biggest thing is you're not weaponizing any of this against yourself or the other person, but using it as a chance to grow, learn more about yourself. Because what happens is once you start recognizing those qualities and what that means about you, you're no longer focused on like what other people are doing, and it's like you let them live. So letting people live, not giving them evil eye or judging them or feeling any kind of way about them is it's allowing you to be a better canvas for how you are acting and what you are saying and doing and how you're treating other people. You also can use this moment to offer yourself maybe what you're denying yourself. So those people having a good old time in the back of the bus, it's like, well, what can we do now to practice those things? You don't like that? Practice it. Go somewhere with your friends. Invite somebody out. Tell a joke. Have a toast. Like have something prepped, that you want to try out, and speak out a little bit more with your friends, and you try to do those things. Like you enjoy yourself, because that's what people are doing when they're not worried about, everybody else around them and who's looking at them. They're actually enjoying themselves, and they're like living and feeling good in that moment.
Yeah. And you deserve that too. And we're recognizing that, we have these judgments, but it's often just a reflection, not an indictment on us or the other person, but just an opportunity to grow and to reflect. And you can use it to think, what is this moment trying to show me about me? How can I grow? How can I level up? How can I be more who I want to be in this moment? So I challenge y'all to sit with that this week. Maybe run through our exercise, hit us at Carlie's couch. Let us know, did we miss something? Is there another type of dislike we missed or another type of trigger? Did you try the exercise and it changed your life? Let us know. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye, y'all.